any second now. Any second. And we are live. We are back.
Woohoo!
Second episode, which means the sequeling.
Oh god, what a name. The sequeling.
The seconding. The sequeling. I don't know.
Second
Ever since this weekend with Infinity War, all I've had is sequels on the mind. But we're gonna be talking about that later.
I was gonna say that sounded like the name for some sort of B-grade, really cheesy horror flick. Either which way you spin it, spin it, whatever. Fuck.
Why do I feel like that's one of those movies with the leprechaun, the killer crazed leprechaun with the crazy leprechaun, the seconding.
Oh no.
We've digressed.
Someone call Warwick.
We've digressed.
No. Keep him away from he doesn't need to do any more Leprechauns movie for the love of God.
There will be Willow. That's it, among other things. But
God, okay.
Yeah, that'll be the episode of Screw Attack. We need Willow versus Leprechaun.
Oh God.
Oh damn. The by name being I Fight Myself or something like that.
Pretty much. So, anyway, we are back, episode 2. We got a lot of cool stuff to talk about. I hope you're all ready to have fun, because we got some fun stuff coming.
Yes, please. The last week has been hell.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, well, let's get into it. What's everyone been playing this last week, or what everyone been doing? Because I know some people have had to take a back seat to that. So, let's get really inclusive here.
Oh God.
Right.
What have you been doing, Felicia?
Well, aside from doing my Witcher 3 stream, which I think I'm getting close to being done with it, like the next 3 or 4 streams will probably be the end of it, just between the main storyline as well as the side quests. But I also finished a couple of other series, like I've played Heartbound, the demo for it this past week. Well, the first one I shot was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I finally got that uploaded, and then finally did the second one. And that game looks amazeballs, especially if you're more into the retro style games. Heartbound and Trom, I cannot recommend them enough. They are both amazing games, especially Trom. I did the full series of that finally. Played it all in one shot, but split it up into more manageable bite-sized pieces, I suppose. Damn good story. Ruscatuli did amazing on that one. So I would heartily recommend checking that one out.
I'll definitely check it out. I mean, I was definitely getting into your Life is Strange stream, and the only reason why I couldn't stick around more so often was I had parental duties I had to take care of.
Dude, totally get it.
But it was awesome. The crowd was very interactive, which is something I'm 100% for. Whoever people watch and interact, mingle, talk.
Right.
What's been going on with you, Kitty?
Oh, well, I started grinding Summon Warframe so I could get a series started for that. But like I was talking to you before we started, I had a health crisis. Pump its rear ugly head up, unfortunately. So long story short, I suffer from stress-related issues. I get like headaches, stuff like that. If it gets too bad, I have seizures. They've been rare. Before that incident, I hadn't had one in a few years. And I went from being okay, kind of headachy, take pills, screw off, hit the roundabout, and go to bed, to, causing my 68-year-old mother to essentially have a health crisis of her own because I dropped and started seizing.
Oh, damn.
So,
Wow.
I've started my testing for it. I have not yet been cleared to go back to gaming fully, so unfortunately my channel is on hiatus. For anybody in the group who's like, hey, where's your videos? Yeah, this is gonna probably be the most interaction I have for about maybe 2 more weeks.
Rehabilitation. Respect it.
Fuck yeah.
I'm running PoE in my free time, so I'm not completely out of the loop, and I may record some just, hey, this is what's going on kind of stuff. And gameplay one of my characters from PoE for it.
Nice. Sounds awesome. I
Yeah, I mean,
I got nothing. You were telling me about that game a while ago, and I still really don't know too much about it. Every time you mention it, I keep
it's
thinking of
like
Path of Exile or something
it
else.
is. It's Path of Exile. That's what PoE
Oh, it
is.
was Path of Exile. So that's how much I pay attention.
Don't feel
Oh,
bad.
that's
I keep
brilliant.
derping on it too. She's told me about it how many times? Like, crap, I forgot again. What's PoE again? Because my brain automatically goes to Nevermore or whatever. Yes, Poe joke. Very bad Poe joke. Leave me alone. Don't judge me. But yeah, I keep forgetting what
Ting!
PoE
Uh,
means when she
Judgment bell.
abbreviates it.
yeah, I'm playing a lot of Poe lately, and all I'm thinking is she playing Player Underground Battleground, or is she playing a game based loosely off the life of Edgar Allan Poe? Oh shit, I need to commit to an answer soon.
No, it's be like, hey, remind me what that is again, and I will be. Well, actually, now that you've said it, I want a game. Game makers, Edgar Allan Poe, please, please and
Oh,
thanks.
that would be the longest, most depressing game I'd ever play. The minute I got to the Raven, I'd have to just check out for like a mental health week. It's like,
Yeah,
oh my god, somebody get rid of that dark cloud over me, please.
get the
Hell, if
Lysol.
you're hell, if you're into like hidden object games, I love playing some of those sometimes. But like over on Wild Tangent, they've got some hidden object games based off of some of the works of Poe that are actually pretty good. At least
Oh
some of the more
yeah.
recent ones. Some of the earlier ones are like, okay, this is shit. I mean, y'all could have done so much better with this. What the fuck?
Oh, agreed.
Actually, actually, I got a question. Are either you two pretty like firm into poetry?
Yes. I mean, I'm not
Kinda.
like super knowledgeable about it or anything, but I do enjoy it.
Yeah.
Um, are either of you familiar with? And I apologize if I get the name wrong. I think it's Robert Frost.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I haven't read very much of them, but what little I have heard, fuck yes.
Okay.
Hell, I think
The
Life is Strange in the most recent the last episode. Sorry, uh, one of the characters actually I think quotes Robert Frost poem at the pool party or whatever, or was that in the previous episode? I can't remember.
I think it
Sorry.
was the previous
No, that's fine.
episode.
No, I brought it up because over the weekend, me and the missus took a little weekend away in New Hampshire, just to time for ourselves away from the baby and to see a close friend of mine who
Yeah.
was dealing with some medical issues. And while we were there, we were actually drove past like Robert Frost's house. It's actually like a museum stand up house. Like there's a huge property. And he's like, yeah, you could totally go and look around and take pictures. Without it, I'll never forget. My only reaction was, that's cool. Who's Robert Frost?
Oh
Oh
no.
my god.
Oh, that's awesome. Hell,
I
one thing in regards to that, one place I'd love to go would be in Massachusetts, I believe, around Jamaica Plains, because that's where one of my favorite poets, Sylvia Plath, that's where she grew up.
Oh
oh, wow.
man.
See, I know who she is. I'm cultured.
Yeah. Culture.
Yeah,
I don't know. I
I'll
just
never
want to
let.
go to what is it, Key West, because of
Hmm,
what's his name's house with all the
Hemingway.
polydactyl cats.
Yep. I almost called him Robert. See, I'm about just kill me now, okay? Ernest Hemingway, goddammit.
Yes.
And Cuba.
Oh,
Oh
that
my
was fun.
gosh. So, um, this screening got a little bit away from us, but that's cool. That's what happens. We're having a
Yeah.
good time.
Fuck
Yeah.
yes.
But we're gonna go into. I guess it's gonna be the staple. I think this is kind of fun. One or two of these podcasts might not do it, but I want to do like a fun little game icebreaker to start the whole thing off. And if the people who are watching want to get involved, by all means. If I want to poll the audience or I'll poll a random response, I will. By all means, if you two want to do the same thing, go right ahead. But this week's game is called the Big Red Button. You might Markiplier's done it. It's where you push the button, you'll get rewarded with something, but there will be a consequence on the other side. The question is do you end up pushing the big red button?
Oh, will you press the
See,
button?
and that right there just makes me want to cue up a Nine Inch Nails song. I just can't remember what the fuck it's called, but yeah.
I got one. I don't remember who it's by, but it's Big Balls.
Oh no, that would be ACDC.
Anyway, to the game because I don't want to go off on a tangent about balls.
The ball.
No,
I can't
we
remember
don't
the
need
lyrics.
to do
Anyway,
that.
All right, let's hear it.
Oh, nothing. I'm just going through all this and trying to get caught up here. All right, so we're gonna play Big Red Button. I'm sure it's called something else, but I'm calling it Big Red Button.
That big red button is great.
All right, so
Big
just
red threatening button. Sorry, Doctor Who.
cue the music. All right,
It goes
so
ding when there's stuff.
big red button right in front of you. First situation: you press this button, you get $100 million, but something very bad and humiliating is going to happen to a complete and total stranger. Do you press the big red button?
Yes.
Piss.
Just like that, huh?
Yep. Just like that.
Okay.
And of course, I have to
Alright.
waffle about it a little bit because, Libra moon and all that shit. I don't know. Tempting, but, what if the person that bad things happen to is somebody who doesn't, deserve it and they've already had a bad enough life? I don't know. Fuck. God damn it. Well, who knows? Maybe there's never mind. I'm not going to get into that. Maybe there's a chance it would just, have bad things happen to somebody who's been a complete bastard. So yeah, I'll push the button.
Exactly.
I'm gonna push the button too, and I'll tell you why. I'm gonna take all morality out of it right now. $100 million can make someone's really bad day get a whole hell of a lot better.
Things I can do
Fair
with
enough.
$100 million. Maybe get my knee replaced. Shit tons
That
of
would
pizza.
definitely knee reconstruction or replacement surgery. Shit ton of pizza. Yeah, I'll work on
Service
the
dog.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, apparently the backstory of that one is like, if you feel guilty enough to like not pick the button, then I guess that means you're stupid because it's something humiliating and it's like not something like demoralizing or like
Yeah.
health related. So it's like I'm pretty sure someone can have a bad day, so you can have a day that you and your kids don't have to worry about anything for like the rest of your lives.
Yeah, but then that begs the question. I was like, how do you separate humiliating from not demoralizing? Because I'm sorry, I've been humiliated several times, and it was quite demoralizing.
Well, think of it
Just
like this.
saying.
Well, I mean, we'll think about it like this. With $100 million, you could definitely find out what happened, or you could definitely find out like who that person was that had like a truly humiliating day. And I mean, like we're talking, and I'll keep it PG, and I'll just say humiliation for the sake of just like a cheap laugh, not at the expense of someone else. So like you went on a bus and then all of a sudden all of your clothes just magically vanished, and then you come to find out that everyone on the bus was like family members or like close friends or something. So it's like, would you endure that for one day and then just like here's $1 million? My bad, bro.
You help me, I help you.
Exactly. Of course, if it were me, I'd be like, you don't have to pay me anything. I graced everyone's good presence just by being here. You're welcome.
Exactly.
And then I woke up from that ego trip because I'm like, never mind, I'll take the money, please. All right, let's get a little bit more. This is a difficult one because this one's going to affect other people in the hobby. Would you push the big red button if you would get a complete video game collection of your choice, anything, and I'm including PC on this as well?
Ooh, yay.
But the average price of every single game, PC, console, everything, would increase over 100%.
No. I can't push that button.
Well, if I already got the $100 million from the previous question, fine.
If I got
Well,
the $100 million, I'll just buy a normal price, maybe splurge on people in the group. Other people in the hobby.
Right?
well, let's see. You pushed the button in the first round, got 100 million, and you pushed the button in the second round, you got all the games. But it's like, well, that's cool. That buys you like 5 copies of Earthbound, probably complete. So good on you for that one. I'd probably, I'm gonna say not push the button only because like I've just of all the crap I've had to deal with being a collector and a trader, I don't wish that on anybody. to have to pay those insane prices. Like, you have no idea how bad it is now just to walk into like a Goodwill, and they'll have a copy of I don't know, just Super Mario RPG, and they'll have it listed at eBay fucking price.
Right.
God.
So imagine 100.
Yeah. But question, does the price increase 100% only for you, or does it doesn't really specify if it increases just for you or if it increases for everybody?
No, I think if you choose to push the button, you get whatever game you get a complete collection of whatever game system you want.
Right.
However, everyone else would have to pay the increase.
Oh, screw that. No, I wouldn't push the button. Fuck that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm just that's too much of a burden to put on all of humanity.
Yeah, no. Like
Yeah.
if I had the 100 million from the first one, as it were, and then the consequences in the second one would only apply to me, that maybe, I don't know. But if it were to basically make everybody else suffer, no, fuck that. Nope.
Nope.
No, I like it. That's good.
Ouch.
All right, here's one might make us think a little bit, but that's cool. Push the big red button, and you would get the game sequel of your choice, something you've been waiting and waiting and waiting for your whole life. Even if there's a possibility it's never going to happen, you're going to get it. But one of your most beloved franchises would have to die off completely. No spin offs, nothing. They just drop off the face of the planet.
But what if that franchise has already been completed?
I'm just going to say this exists in a universe where there might be a looming sequel somewhere.
I know. I think way too hard about this, don't I? I make it way too complicated.
I'm trying to think of every contingency I can so you can't get out of this.
I'm not trying to get out of it. I'm just curious as to like what some of the more subtle details are before the devil's in the details, as they say.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so desperately awaited, long-awaited sequel, but a franchise might die. Or franchise would die off.
I'm not pushing
There is a
it.
way.
I'm not
Nope.
pushing it. Nope. It's not worth it for Half-Life 3.
I expect another one for Half-Life 3 later, ironically. Oh my god. I'm gonna do that one next.
Nice.
Alright. So Kitty ain't gonna push it. What about you, Felicia?
Probably not, because I can't really think of any sequels I'm desperate to see, or at least none that are really going to be coming out anytime soon. Like, I've seen the end of God of War, and oh my god, if they don't make a sequel for that, I'm going to be spitting nails and then some. Can't wait to play it. But beyond that, I mean, even as much as I'm eagerly awaiting Halo, it's not one of those, oh my god, I'm going to not be able to breathe until that comes out. No, I'm good. I'm okay. So, nah, I'm not going to push the button. I like my franchises too much that are already here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to cheat on this one just a little bit.
Fucker.
I'm gonna push the button. I'm gonna push the button, but I'm gonna wait until after Kingdom Hearts 3 gets released. Because when I push this button, it's to get Wild Arms 6. Because that's a series I love to death. It is just it is the quintessential RPG of my choice. And I'm waiting until after Kingdom Hearts 3 to come out, because at that point they don't need any more fucking games. They're done. Put the third game out, call it, just put it on the shelves. You're done. So I'm kind of cheating on that one. So let's just say I'm going to be waiting probably about a year and a half before I cash in on that one.
Yeah, but there's a statute of limitations, fucker. You gotta push it now or not.
Hey, don't pull that shit with me. I watch enough Law and Order. I know exactly how long I have on the law of limitation. What the fuck it's called?
Statute of limitations.
Statute of limitations.
And that doesn't apply here.
The fuck it don't.
Yeah, it doesn't apply here. The podcast. Oh my goodness. Fine, I'll play by the rules. I won't push the button.
Hooray.
I won't push the button, even though if Kingdom Hearts is going to release another spin-off game or another mobile game.
Well, then we just shoot them. Problem solved.
I like push the button and get a gun. All right. I'm gonna jump this one up next only because you mentioned it. You push the button and you finally get Half-Life 3, but by doing so, you're gonna give up getting a Last of Us 2.
I just charged my lucky lighter. I am not hitting that button. I need The Last of Us 2. My girl Ashley Johnson, man.
Oh my
I
god.
gotta get my lighter. Gotta hop off cam. Gotta get my lighter, man. Can't
I'll,
believe.
I'll make this. I'll start this off easy, and I'll say I'm not. I won't push the button only because I've never been a fan of Half Life.
I liked Half Life 1. Half Life 2 was a disappointment, and I want Half Life 3 to redeem it, but not at the expense of getting my Last of Us 2.
Fair enough.
I
In
like
my
it.
case, I've never played either. I at some point want to because I've heard really good things like about Last of Us and whatnot and Half Life, at least a little bit. I don't know. I don't really know. There's so much I'm so not caught up on because I've not been able to keep up with shit ever because too poor to. But so I don't know. I mean, push the button, don't push the button. I don't know. I'm ambivalent.
um, I think it really depends on the person. I mean, if you're really into Half Life, and a lot of people are like really into Half Life, but honestly, like I haven't finished The Last of Us, but I understand why it's like people like one of their best games of all time. I mean, it's got a great story. The voice acting is great. Like the graphics engine was phenomenal. The remastering on PS4 was exquisite. I get it. It's a good story in a genre of zombies, which to me is getting very winded. So um, I can definitely understand it, and I can definitely do without Half Life because to me that just seems like a reason to have a first person shooter. Just another one. It's another sci-fi first person shooter, and I'm like, if you're gonna do that, just do another System Shock game. At least that's a sci-fi horror survival.
Right?
I mean, I don't really have too much to say on that one, but that's just my 2 cents on it. I'm sick and tired of people like I don't want to say people because I don't want to make anyone upset who's actually looking for Half Life 3. But me personally, if it never got released, I don't think I'd lose sleep over it.
I freaking I wouldn't either. It's been so
it
long. I found new
yeah.
games.
All right, all right. I got one more here, and then we're gonna get on to our first topic.
Yeah.
And I apologize if you can't get it, if either one of you can't get into this too much. I thought it was pretty funny because if it were me, I'd want to have like my hands in every single detail of this. You push the button and you get creative control of DC or Marvel, and that's everything: the movies, the TV shows, the comics, everything. You get creative control of everything. But and by doing so, you cannot work on your characters of choice. Meaning, if I could choose it, I'd get DC, and I couldn't do a damn thing with Batman.
But then how is that creative control?
Yeah.
That
Um,
kind of cancels it. That seems like that's an oxymoron. If you have creative control, then you should be able to. I don't know. Maybe I just don't. Maybe I know nothing, Jon Snow.
Probably. If I can't
I
write
wouldn't be
crappy jokes for
surprised.
Deadpool, I want nothing to do with it.
No shit. Thank you.
I will
you know what? You know Deadpool?
I will write them on sticky notes and I will plaster them all over Ryan Reynolds' office.
Oh my
I'll
god.
deliver it for you. No.
I will put bees in his car, dang it.
Damn.
That is a
I think
reference to the game.
I think it was supposed to basically feel like you're excited to have create like I don't know if it's supposed to be creative control or you just own it. So maybe I should just switch it to own it. But like you would own Marvel or DC, but you wouldn't be able to work with like your favorite characters of choice. Like I couldn't work with Batman or Green Lantern with DC, and if I were to switch to Marvel, I'd probably just sell it because I don't want to work for Marvel. So I'm gonna say no. I wouldn't push the button. They got good people working on the people like in the comics now. Movies, not so much.
We can hope they can redeem themselves after the nonsensory that was the end of Infinity Wars.
I would
Oh,
know I haven't seen Infinity War yet. Oh my god.
we're gonna be talking about that one later.
Oh
Oh.
boy.
I've already heard that I'm gonna need like several boxes of tissues. I might as well buy stock and Kleenex.
Yeah,
So
this is box number 3 because of it.
Oh
holy
yeah,
crap.
it was rough. It was rough, but I'm gonna do my best to make it as spoiler free as possible for yourself and for other people who are watching. Um, I don't want to ruin it, but I apologize ahead of time if something slips.
Well, we'll kill you later. It's okay.
I just looked up a recap so I know like what happens at the end, but I have not seen anything because that was a Hindi movie that popped up on my site. So explains why I didn't understand it.
But it probably made it a little bit more interesting in another language.
Like 2 minutes in, I was like, it's like watching a movie in Arabic.
Yes.
I wasn't exactly wrong. I was in the right region of the world, at least. Okay, sorry. I digressed. Sorry.
No, it's like I'm learning Thanos' plots and I'm learning it in another language as well.
I was like,
Double score.
2 minutes in. I can't watch this, and I watched
Uh,
something
but
else.
we'll talk about that later. But well, right now let's this is a funny one only because like it was a rumor that popped up I think for like a few days and then I haven't heard anything about it for weeks and that of course is the PS5 rumors that got kicked up again.
Oh,
Right
jeez.
before we
No.
get in, yeah, before we get into it, like right off the bat, like first impression just from hearing them even talk about it.
Ugh.
Too
No,
soon.
not yet.
Too soon.
I only just got my PS4 at the beginning of this year, and granted, yes, I know PS4 has been out for a few years now, but Jesus Christ, I can barely keep up as it is. I'd like to be able to enjoy having what is the most recent type of system, at least for a little while before they, kick out the next one. Jesus wept. Is that too much to ask?
Yeah. They need to stop for a little bit. Sony needs to like stop and be like, okay, how can we improve what's going into the consoles rather than just, hey, here's the next one, shove.
Well, I got it
Right.
right here. I got it right here, and this because I was curious as to when the PS4 came out. It came out November 15th, 2013. So this is almost 5 years old. So for them for to even that kind of article to even come out from Sony, I don't think it was anything in depth. They were just kicking an idea around, and I think like maybe a base design for the PS for like a PS5. And I gotta ask the question: you are kicking Microsoft's ass with exclusives right now. Why are you worrying about your next console?
Yeah.
I mean, if they're just kind of keeping us updated on the overall development, but it's still going to be a few years, fine. That's fine, but don't fucking dangle it out like, oh, hey, it's going to be coming out like in the near future. Fuck you. Why?
Yeah.
My
No.
wallet can't survive this, so it's going to be a while.
Oh, I hear you. That console shouldn't even be coming out until like another 4 or 5 years at
Right?
least. At
Right.
least another 4 years. That way we'll have 8 years is enough time for a child to grow up and become like an adult ish. Then they start going on to the next phase of their lives, and then that's when you start pushing the new content out. Because 8 years in a console lifespan, 8 to 10 years in a console lifespan is pretty hefty. I think that's what they. I think that was right around what they did for PlayStation 2. They kept it within the 8 to 10 mark. If I'm wrong, I do apologize.
Yeah.
But
Sounds right.
but
Same.
it's ridiculous. I mean, to my knowledge, I think the PS4 is behind Nintendo Switch in console sales, and I can understand why. And like the Switch like sold out faster than the Wii.
Yeah, it's a shiny new toy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shiny new toy that has Zelda. It's like Sony can't do that.
And now they have the Nintendo Labo thing with the whole like cardboard construction stuff, which I think that's actually pretty cool, but I still don't really feel the need to scream out and buy a Switch terribly quickly just yet.
I don't even want. I
Yeah,
mean, this is gonna be awful, but I have played an hour, 2 hours of uh Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
off of not on a Switch. Like I emulate it, and I'm like, controllers are kind of crap, but this is still better than going out spending $400 or $500 on a tiny little box of. I'm trying not to swear, but bullfuckery. I don't want it. I would lose the little side things, and then I would be effed 6 ways from Sunday.
You know, it's funny. I wasn't going to bring up the Labo, but I guess we'll kind of
Touch on
bring
that
it
for a
in with the
second.
PS5. I guess is like just something that like console specific stuff. I said it once and I'll say it again, and then I got a punchline for it.
Oh boy.
Okay. I like what they're trying to do, what Nintendo's trying to do. They're trying to create a little bit of ingenuity with their product. And I think that's really cool, especially with adults and their younger kids. It gives them something to do. And it's essentially the building blocks of your like basic engineering in a sense. So
Yeah.
in that respect, it's really, really cool. Until you remember that it's $60 or $80 for fucking cardboard.
Yep.
Yeah. I
Now,
mean,
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
like it was fun as hell watching Jacksepticeye play around with a little cardboard piano, and then watching the whole like the wow on his face when he figured out like how it is that you've got your Switch screen sitting in this little tiny little cardboard piano, and you're hitting these little cardboard keys, and it's playing it accurately, perfectly. And then he figured out that it's by the controller vibrations that figure out what the note pitch is supposed to be. That is pretty fucking cool. But yeah, when you think about like how you have to go and buy these cardboard sets, as you said, at a ridiculous amount of price. It's like, why can't I just, I don't know, well, I know that they have it cut in certain ways to do it that way, but it's like, what if you just find, I don't know, designs on the internet and do it with a cardboard you already have laying about the house? That would seem to me
Exactly.
a lot more economically responsible, especially for recycling and shit.
Absolutely. Like, if you think that stuff's amazing, I encourage people and you guys, I encourage you to well, look up these videos of what people can do with just like hot glue and cardboard. Somebody made an auto-scrolling Mario level using just cardboard, magnets, and just some simple electronics. It is the coolest thing I ever had seen in my life, and that's just someone who just knows how to, just work with that kind of material.
Right?
This is cool, but I honestly don't see this lasting any more than a few months because like it already came out, and I have not heard a lot of overwhelming response for this. But the joke I had was this: it's like everyone's talking about the Labo, and I already went out and got the DLC, and I got to put it together, but it's so silly. But at the same time, I mean, I don't want to tell some kid's father not to buy him Nintendo cardboard. And but what I'm worried about is some asshole who literally like they did this shit with every Nintendo product. They did this with the NES Classic. They did this with the Super Nintendo Classic. I don't want these assholes buying this shit up and turning it around and trying to sell it on Craigslist or eBay for crazy prices. Because within 1 week, interest dropped like sharp.
Right? I mean, it's just a very expensive novelty that,
Yeah.
especially because of the prices for these freaking packs of cardboard, I don't see it lasting very long either myself.
I hope it
Right.
doesn't last long.
No.
That's a
I mean,
crappy thing to say, but good God, people. Friggin'
yeah.
go to your freaking local fast food joint, ask them for their boxes, find a
Or
pattern
even
online,
Walmart.
you'll be good. Even Walmart, Aldi's, I mean, the possibilities are endless. And it's
A-
Sure.
free.
Actually, I'll see that, and I'll raise you a different scenario. WB Mason, if you can get a hold of their boxes, make excellent building blocks for any afternoon or fort building. I promise you.
You know what? I have
Nice.
questions. How do you know this?
Uh, and moving on to the next question.
You've done the thing.
Well, the
No,
easiest
no,
thing is you got a kid.
Oh, that's true.
no. This was prior to my kid making days. Um,
Well,
You practiced with cardboard, and then you moved on to the real thing.
oh, look at the time.
Okay, moving on to the next segment.
Nintendo
Sorry,
Nintendo
guys.
Labo DLC Pack 2 makes it feel just like the real thing.
Oh my god, I can just see the app for that on the Switch. It
18
buzzes when it
plus.
needs to poop. It screams until you do certain, I don't know,
Jiggle
segments
the
of. Yeah,
controllers.
oh god.
But anyway,
Moving on. I'm sorry.
no, it's fine. I'm also
Nintendo
getting that.
contributing to birth control.
It's about time,
Sorry.
Nintendo. That's what we need. Uh,
Next segment,
so
please.
PS5 too soon to come out. Nintendo Labo too rich for my cheap ass. And to better answer the question about the WB Mason boxes, um, they were a supplier for my wife when she worked at an animal shelter, so we would
Oh.
sometimes get the boxes, and like they were perfect for storing everything. They were extremely sturdy, and yes, there was one time I built a fort, but the reason I was building a fort was because I was having Sarah's nephew stay the night, and in between them playing all the Lego video games that I have, they wanted to build a fort.
Fair
Fuck
enough.
yeah.
So I was not trying to make any happy memories with the cardboard. Let's get that right out of the way.
That is, for once, that is not where my brain went, but thank you for planting the idea. Side eye.
It's like a mind bug, and now it can't leave.
Oh hell, I don't. I'm fine with having my brain in the gutter. It's fun down here.
It is.
It
All the fun
is. It makes
people
for
are
a
down here.
good conversation. All right. Now the topic that we couldn't get to a couple weeks ago, but I really wanted to get to now, and that's games that we played that are just complete crap. Now, I believe I said keep it within a year. If we want to go outside of that, we can. And anyone who's watching, by all means, feel free to contribute any of this as you want, and I might pull an example out here. But games that we played um, that we felt just weren't as good as lived up to the hype. So, any of you want to go first?
Warframe. And it's not because it caused a crisis.
It's not because of that.
It's not. For once, it's not. The hype that was surrounding this game upon its initial release that was like, oh, everybody's playing Warframe, everybody's playing Warframe. The graphics are amazing. No, they're really not. And if you don't take off your motion blur, you're gonna be car sick like a chihuahua in an 18-wheeler. Two, controls are not very well explained. And this is not coming from me, this is coming from my guildmates who are like, we're here to handhold you because the game doesn't explain diddly crap. They
Yeah, no,
had
it really doesn't.
they
Oh
had to
yeah, that's
explain how to do certain things for a mission. I could not move forward in the game until I did these things, but it did not tell me how to do them. I was like, if you're gonna be an asshole, but explain why you're an asshole, please.
Right? And tell us how to adjust to your assholery.
Yeah, teach me how to not punch you in the throat, Warframe.
Or the punch to the throat's gonna get followed up by a junk punt.
Yeah,
oh,
dick punching
look out,
party at the
Warframe.
Warframe developers' house.
Like, I've started playing Warframe on my PS4 because, offered for free in the PlayStation Network, yada yada.
Yeah.
And so, like, I've noticed that they like to show you vital hints pretty much right in the middle of shit. But by the time you can actually look down to look and see what the hint said, it's already basically just disappeared. Like, you get just that tiny
Yes.
little peek at it, and then it's gone. It's like, wait,
What was
what? I
that?
have to press what combat? And trying to switch between these three weapons. I mean, I'm having a bit of fun with it, I will say, but at the same time, I basically am just reverting to my typical nature of button mashing and hoping for the best. So
Pretty much. Main 9 button controls for me: mouse, WASD, and the 1 through 5. And I mean, I still haven't finished that mission because I'm still missing a part, but I had to hop off because of my headache.
what mission are you on?
I haven't even gotten off Earth yet.
Oh, okay.
I down to the Venus outpost.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know where that's at. There's one mission. Oh my god, I swear to God, I can't quite remember where it was at. Seems like there was a lot of snow around, and the the bad guys, as
That's
it were, they were just so fucking irritating.
oh my god.
But I think something else that bugs me, I like comparing Warframe to Fortnite. I like the way that they work squads way better in Fortnite than they do in Warframe, because if you end up with some people that really just rip your pubes right out from under you, and you kind of just want to bitch slap them, at least at the end of the round you're done and you get to pair up with whole new people who more than likely are going to be awesome. In Warframe, when they squad you up, you basically are stuck with them until you decide, fuck this, I'm out. And
Yeah.
I have so far been patched up, not patched up, paired up with people that, you know, I'm not meaning to talk shit about kids. I'm really not. But at the same time, young children are some of the most annoying people on the planet to play with, for the simple fact that they want to try to run everything like an adult when you're just like, excuse you. Um, Let me know when your voice starts to change, and then we might talk about you running shit. And it's not that I really want to run shit, but I don't want to be bossed around by somebody who's just as new at this game as I am, because you're on the same fucking, you know, mission as I am. So clearly you have just started this as well. And like, I had one kid bitching at me all over the place. Where the fuck you going? How old are you? I mean, granted, I let my kids cuss at home, but that's at home. And I don't even think I'd let them cuss online, but good luck stopping them, probably. We'll see. But it's like, you sound like you're 9 and you're asking me where the fuck I'm going. I'm going because I see some shit I can pick up. Is that okay with you, sunshine? Okay, I'm done. I swear. I'll shut up.
You just summed up my guildmates pretty well. And here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. So right now we got a new guy who joined us. So we have Trin, Trix, me, and Voss. So
Mm-hmm.
in age it goes Voss, Trix, me, Trin. However, they act like I'm the newest player, but I'm the oldest in game. Because I'm like, guys, where the shit are you going? No, come back here. The point is here. Guard the point. Don't go fuck. Don't bring the
Oh
dog back
man.
here. And we got paired up with a noob, and I was like, I hate everything. I hate you all.
I want to blow up the world.
I hate this game.
You
Come
know,
back with. I
it's
almost read
really
that out
funny,
loud.
and I just said this in the chat. But as you both were telling that, all I could get this feeling, and this won't make sense if you haven't seen Lords of Dogtown, because there's one scene where there's a much older woman who is basically like getting the better of an interaction between like a young skater, and her comeback was like the perfect reaction to what you're both are saying. Like, they're running their mouth, and you just basically want to be like, "Come back when your balls drop."
Yeah, I just tried to say it nicer, and the whole "I come back when your voice changes," because I'm trying not to be insulting, but still, yes, exactly. Come back when your balls drop and you grow the fuck up a little bit and quit trying to pull your alpha bullshit.
I've only played like one or two matches of Warframe on a friend's PS4, and I'm like, okay. Hey, did the new patch for Diablo 3 finish? Sweet.
Oh, that's
God,
It just
there there is this one mission where, the more people you have with you, like if you can get your squad up to all 4 slots, that's even better. But what use is it when you're having to guard this piece of technology from oncoming enemy forces? And because if they damage it beyond repair, well, then obviously you failed the mission. What does it benefit when you're pretty much the only one actually standing by this piece of equipment you're supposed to be guarding, and everybody else is fucking off and doing their own shit? And it's like, excuse me, I'm kind of getting my ass handed to me all by me onesie over here. Get the fuck back here. I'm fine. I'm totally fine.
you should try playing Dead by Daylight with a bunch of kids who don't know what the hell they're doing.
Do you hate me or something?
I
No, I
would be
was. You
one
know
of
what the
those
funny thing?
kids. I don't know how to play Dead by Daylight.
Okay,
I don't either, but it's
I'm not
fun
gonna
watching
put
other people.
I'm not going to put it on this list because the game is really, really fun. But I am going to say that the one thing about that game that drives me nuts is if you're playing as one of the 4 survivors, that game has some serious patching issues. It's still working on because it's all multiplayer online. The
Right.
biggest problem, the biggest problem I have is when I'm playing with a bunch of new people who don't understand the button commands. And see, normally I wouldn't mind that because we all learn differently. Except you're playing a game in which if you fuck up and you make noise, the killer instantly knows where you are. So while
Yeah.
I'm giving so I'm giving 3 people an extremely fast-paced tutorial, and these jackasses can't repair a generator or heal themselves without crying out in pain or making something explode. I then am running like hell to get away from the giant 8 foot tall giant murder machine of death who is trying to kill me and sacrifice me to the devil. Meanwhile, I can't talk to a single person on the survivors unless I'm in like a party speak prior to getting in this match. That is frustrating. Warframe, I couldn't tell you.
Understandable. My experience with Dead by Daylight is simply just watching Jack, Mark, Bob, and Wade playing it, which, by the way, is hilarious as balls. Wear Depends or something, or don't drink anything beforehand because it is funny as shit. But yeah, like even just the timing that you have to like click on something to when you're fixing the generator, otherwise you make it explode. It seems like a rather simple concept, but I've never gotten to play it. Maybe eventually I will try to work up the nut sack too, but um
It, it's a lot
but
of
yeah,
fun, and I'll help you.
that'd be totally fine. It's just but it seems like rather simple concepts. Just I know you're in the pressure. You're having to quickly do this lest so and so come out and gank your ass. But dude, this clearly means something. This is clearly something where you have to still breathe and keep your shit cool. Otherwise, yeah,
Oh,
you're gonna fuck up the timing. So, oh my god, if you're gonna freak out and panic, then you're gonna fuck everything up even more. And you want me to come save your ass after?
Okay.
oh, it was because of that game. I had to change my message settings on my PlayStation account so I could only get them from friends
Oh
because
no.
I got some I
Dare
got
I
some.
ask?
I'll gladly talk about it. One of them was somebody had gone on the sacrificial hook for um the second time. Now, if you don't know what that means, basically, if you go on the hook once and get rescued, you're fine. If you go on the hook the second time, and as long as you're not in the struggle mode, you're fine. You go on that hook a third time, you're instantly out. You get sacrificed to the entity. You can't even stop the action from happening. I'm in a match. 2 people have already died. I just popped the last generator. I'm opening the door to leave, and the guy and my partner decides he's going to run off to for whatever reason. I think he was looking for the escape hatch because that's like an extra 2,000 blood points if you find it. Runs off, gets himself immediately captured trying to vault through an open window, and he'd been on the hook at least once, and the second time, like, he goes immediately into struggle mode, meaning you have to constantly press the X button in order and wait for someone to come get you.
Right.
Okay, he immediately, like, first of all, this killer must have like warped him halfway across the fucking. He took him so far away, like. Star Wars movies are not that far away in a long distant galaxy. This guy was across the freaking map. I couldn't get to him. And I was waiting for the little icon to say he was on the hook and the little life bar underneath it to tell me what situation he's in. It goes immediately to half-life, meaning that he's now in struggle mode.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. I had already been on the hook, I believe, at least once until that point, and I'm currently in the injured state, meaning if I get hit again, I'm in the dying state and I can't resurrect myself. So I leave, which means he automatically dies. He can't escape. He
Uh-huh.
sends me he sends me a 3 paragraph message telling me how I am the biggest piece of human shit in the whole world. I can't believe you didn't come and rescue me, man. I would have done the same for you. I thought we were teammates. It was just the funniest damn thing ever in my life. I can only respond back with the 3 words that piss anybody off off. I'm just like, you mad, bro?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Gotta love it when you're dealing with a squad where somebody, regardless of age, is acting like a petulant 4-year-old.
My
Um,
God.
I was playing Fortnite a few weeks ago. It was still early on in my YouTube channel, and I think I was streaming this. So I'm in a squad. It's myself, a couple of other adults, and this one kid. And this kid, first of all, as we're skydiving down, he demands that we land at Loot Lake. He demands that we carry him. And then, as we're getting close to landing at the house in the middle of Loot Lake, starts trying to call dibs on all the loot in the house and is flipping his shit when we're like, yeah, okay, we're grabbing some stuff. And I'm trying to be not a complete bag of dicks. You know, gotta try to maintain a little bit of dignity, especially if one is gonna be doing shit on YouTube. At least try. He is like pissing and moaning about, oh, that was mine. I called dibs on that. Yeah. If you wanna, and I flat out told him, if you wanna work shit in a way that is, if you want to try to play as though you're playing solo, then go to solo mode. This is squad mode, and we're supposed to be acting as a team here, and you don't get to call dibs on everything. Basically, is what I said. That's not verbatim, but it was the point. He did not like it very much. It's like he was calling a bunch of us names, and we're just kind of laughing at him because it's like, oh, sunshine, you think you are a big fish in a little pond, and you aren't. I hate to break it to you, but you're not even bait. Okay, shut up.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
Oh God, yes. I mean, it's just one of those. I'm still a noob. I am not good at Fortnite. I have a lot of fun with it, and I try not to be a burden on everybody else. But my God, at least I'm not an entitled shitbag about it.
Yeah, I was being kind of harsh on Fortnite in our little Facebook group,
Uh,
and the thing is I don't want people to think that like it's a bad game and you should feel bad for playing it. But my God, dude, there are just so many damn people that stream Fortnite. But that's not the game that I wanted to say that I have an issue with. And this is going to be
oh
kind of
yeah.
like a this is going to be a therapy session for me, and that's Destiny 2.
Hand him the Kleenex, kitty.
This is going to be a rough one.
Oh no. There's the
Yeah.
Kleenex.
And I apologize to the people who are watching this at home. This is going to get a little sappy. Um, I love the first Destiny. Say what you will about it, I don't care. Oh, it has too many expansions. Oh, they're all dumb. No, there's this for you. They were all they were all fun. I enjoyed them. If you get people to play along with you, you're going to have a good time. It's basically a first-person space shooter dungeon crawler like Diablo, and that's pretty much what the feeling I got when I was playing the first game all the time. The raids, the strikes, the online matches were fun. Some of them were a little weird, but like the game itself was fun. And then when like the Rise of Iron chapter came out, I'm like, I legitimately felt like an ironclad Viking space badass. It was
Nice.
so freaking awesome, and I like it was so cool. I even used GameStop points to buy like the Rise of Iron hat, which I'm pretty sure the little one is using as a teething ring.
I
Um,
want to see it.
Oh, it's probably in like her toy bin or something. I have all my hats are in there because she likes to chew on the rims. Um, but then Destiny 2 got announced, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be so awesome. It comes out. I dropped $100 on the special collector's edition, and all I got to show for it was a steel book and a couple of plastic icons that I don't know why they felt needed to be in there, but like, whatever. I guess it. I hoped it added up to 100. Played the first hour or two of the game, and I was actually like, okay, I like where this is going. Spoiler alert: you actually lose your special guardian powers, and you walk through the game as a giant pleb, pretty much, because you're pretty much left to defend yourself. And then you get your powers back very fast, and then like another 2 hours later, before you know it, the game is over. and it actually froze on the end credits for me.
Oh
And the
my
Oh.
person
god.
and the person I was playing with online. I go back to the main hub of the overworld because Destiny had it with the Citadel. Here they had it with the farm. If I have to explain how much of a downgrade uh, an actual Citadel is compared to a fucking farm, that's disappointing.
Oh god.
Oh
The
no.
boss fight, I don't even Oh, wait, hold on. It's now finally coming back to me because that's how fucking forgetful it was.
Fuck.
My
It
god.
was the cool thing about the game is it allowed you to carry two primary weapons, which was pretty cool. Up until that point, I cannot tell you what happened during the main storyline, only because none of the missions stood out. As far as mechanics go, nothing was changed. And of course, right off the bat, once the game is over, then they're starting to hit me with like all that expansion pass BS. So I paid $100 for a game that was pretty much a carbon copy of the first game that Bungie had promised that with this game they're going to address all the problems they had with the first game, which is weird because the problems they had were not really problems at all. But we got a much shorter game. The multiplayer was worse than it was in the first Destiny. The ending boss should have been a lot cooler, but ultimately it felt like a giant letdown. And again, the farm hub is the dumbest thing in the world.
Oh
It
my
made
god.
no sense. It made no sense to have the one area you go to get the troops together before a battle. I literally felt like I was on a three-piece set of Green Acres. It was so pathetic. It was so run down. It felt like a hollow shell of what it was. And all I could think of was this: is that if Blizzard did that shit with a Diablo game, I would have sworn off Blizzard altogether, and that's like one of my favorite companies in the world. But for Bungie to do this, they completely bastardized and cannibalized the entire game in of itself, made it way too short. Nothing was memorable. Nothing stuck out. Everything, the consequences were non-existent after an hour. It was
Damn.
so abysmal. I haven't touched the game since 3 days after I picked it up, and that was when the game first came out.
Holy shit.
Damn, that sucks.
The only reason why I haven't gotten rid of it is I kid you not, the steelbook actually looks pretty cool, and because the trade-in credit for it is actually really bad.
Gee,
Oh,
I
from
wonder
bad to
why.
Yeah, which
Jesus.
was it was so weird because my guys at GameStop who I trust for my sources and all this, they were telling me, "Oh, no, I've heard great things about it. It's such a great game." I beat the game and come back to him a week later. I'm like, "What did I do to you?"
I thought you liked me.
You
Oh, it
pissed
was,
in your
oh, it
Cheerios.
was, oh, it was so I might not be able to articulate why it sounds so bad, but basically it was everything I had wanted, like the legacy that the first game built up. It was all for naught in this game for a payoff that makes almost no sense.
Damn. See, and I haven't even gotten into the first one yet. I think I already told you this. But I've slept since then. But I've the farthest I've gotten in Destiny, and I guess I'm just a little bit intimidated by this game a little bit. I'm at where you're supposed to take your ship back to where you first start off, so you can get a part to make it to where it can go into warp space. I think it is. And every time I get to where that part is, of course, even though I'm playing on easy mode for Christ's sake, I keep getting absolutely slaughtered. And like I said, I'm just a bit intimidated by this game. I guess I haven't touched it since because I got it the same day that I got Witcher 3, and we all know how much I have just been
Sorry.
living in Witcher 3. So, but I want to be able to play more of it because it still looks like an amazing game. I don't know, but I'm so sorry that Destiny 2 worked out so abysmally for you. That's so disheartening.
It was, but that wasn't the only game that was kind of a letdown. The other one was a game that I wanted to get because I actually really liked Dead by Daylight, and that was Friday the 13th.
Yeah. The new
I'm
one?
Yeah, the new one, the new one.
Oh,
That game has just has so many problems. Well, first of all, the biggest problem it has is that a lot of the modes, like there's the game is down more than it really should be, and this is a game that has been kickstarted and worked on for years now. So I could understand their development problems. The main issue I'm having with the game is that all of the Jason skins take way too long to unlock. Um, it's completely random as to whether or not you get to play as a counselor or Jason. And for when I was playing Jason, it was actually fun because you got to kill extremely stupid counselors. But playing as the counselor, you needed to be on such a dedicated server that can hold eight other people with a sturdy connection because these levels would glitch out and ruin just it would completely ruin the experience for everybody. Like I can't tell you how many times I got stuck in doorways, in windows trying to get out of them. How many times I got glitched because Jason was able to actually like somehow get through a wall through like one of his warp sequences. But the biggest issue I was having, aside from that, was also the connection issues and also the frame rate was god awful. I could have had a better experience playing this game through a Virtual Boy. I kid you not.
damn! And some of those glitchy issues sound similar to some of the stuff I've seen watching people play Gmod prop hunt.
Oh my god.
But see, the thing with that game is like it actually functions if you have a decent enough computer. This game,
Yeah,
like I I don't have the best internet in the world, but I have like second to pretty good internet, so I know it's not me.
yeah,
So like the fact that I can't even enjoy a game because I don't know if it's similar to how it works in Friday the 13th as it does in Dead by Daylight. Dead by Daylight is dependent on the killer's internet. I don't know if that's how it is for this game where it's dependent on whoever's playing Jason. But when you have something like that, when you are it's a 9-person game, you have to have dedicated servers that can hold up to that many people playing at once.
oh yeah.
And
Good grief.
for me, the choppy frame rate, the bugginess, like frame rates dropping. And I'll give you a good example of this, and then if anyone else has another one, we'll do it. Other than that, we'll move on. Remember when Arkham Knight first came out for PC?
Vaguely.
Oh, okay, okay. I'd recommend if you were curious, just look into a video about it. But basically, the PC version of that game was so unfinished when it came out that there was not a single smooth texture in that game outside of the initial characters. Like it literally looked like you were walking on blocks of Play-Doh. And this was
Oh.
like a Batman game.
Yeah.
No.
So
Oh my
imagine
god.
if you will, the only good like graphical mechanics in that game are how the game loves to make the female counselor's butt jiggle when she's running. They do that pretty damn good. Aside from that, no.
Oh my.
Gives you something to look at when you're glitching, I guess.
That's if it doesn't kick you out of the lobby. It's like, look, if you're not going to give me the game, at least give me a show. You're not even giving me both.
Yeah.
Oh damn.
It's
Yeah, I brought
ridiculous.
that game back within like a month. I'm like, I just
I can't. No.
no.
All aboard
So
the Nope train.
Yeah.
no.
To screw
All
that a
right.
stand.
All right. Well, enough of that sad Kleenex ridden train of despair. I want the main event for tonight's show, unless someone else has another game they want to talk about real quickly.
Friggin' Diablo 3 wasn't long enough. Okay, I'm good.
What do you mean it's not long enough? They added a fifth chat, or they added a whole other segment.
Dude, I was done in like 4 days.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
That's short.
Yeah. It was
Have
short and the
you?
end boss was too easy to beat.
Are you referring to Diablo or Malthael?
Um. Dude who
Because
falls and re releases everybody. I didn't pay attention to names. I was going murder hobo. There was like red on my vision. And I was like, yes, I'm having fun.
Well, the story mode isn't supposed to be that long. It's how much playability you put into the game because you're supposed to play it on harder difficulties after you beat it the first time, and then when the game gets more difficult, and then you get into seasonal mode and hardcore mode. But that's cool. It's not for everyone, and
Oh,
I
I mean, I
I
haven't
respect
stopped
your opinion
playing
on
it.
that.
I'm running Nephilim Rifts right now.
Uh, I fired it up today because apparently there was a free gift. Like you get like a Starcraft destroyer cruiser as a pet if you sign into your Blizzard account. So now I have a little mini Starcraft battle cruiser
Oh
following
yeah.
my level 630 Paragon level demon hunter with me everywhere I go.
Oh yeah, I've had the little StarCraft dude since like level 32, and
Eh,
I've had Mercy Wings from level 4, so I
I've
haven't
had my
taken them
mercy
off yet.
wings from day one. From day one, I'll never take them off. I don't know. It doesn't do anything to the character, but it does look pretty awesome.
It does things for me, and that's what matters. But the dude whose account I'm using, yes, I admit I borrowed the game, whatever. He wasn't playing it. Um, he's like, "You're such a freak for keeping your mercy wings," and I'm like, "What can I say? I'm a demon angel." Okay.
Hey, you know what? I always offer if people want to team up and play Diablo 3, we can do Nephilim Rifts or because I need I'm like very close to platinuming that game. I think all I got to do is all the hardcore ones and the bounty one, then I'm done.
Yeah. I'm nowhere near
So
that. I'm 271 Paragon, so.
it takes a little time. But the main event of tonight's show, we're going to be talking about Infinity War and moving beyond Infinity War because I went and saw Infinity War over the weekend.
Oh my.
Do we still have the Kleenex available?
Oh
Kind
my
of.
god.
Okay,
Just realized
I'm
that's my
going to
fat
try my
box.
hardest. I'm going to try my hardest to not spoil like really big things, but I will say this: the movie did not wait too long to start killing people.
Oh god.
Who
But
directed this? Stephen Moffat?
Oh
for
dear.
what you get for all you did with Doctor Who, you bastard.
Although I did love his take on Sherlock, but anyway.
Anyway,
Anyway,
moving on.
um, basically, this is going to be the stage setter for what's going to happen in Phase 4 with Marvel.
Right.
And again, if you need me to explain to you how this movie ends, and I'm talking about feels and stuff like that, you can imagine it probably doesn't end on a very positive note,
Nope.
which would definitely lead into there being a sequel to which has not been properly named yet. Um,
Right.
I think that should be called the Infinity Gauntlet, or at least or like Infinity Aftermath, or like the Infinity Entity, or something. Something. There's a ton of comic stories with the Infinity Gauntlet in the name.
Right.
Um, but it really got me wondering, and I won't spoil the end credit scene. It got me wondering, like, what we're how we are we getting excited for like the next phase of movies because I believe it's within like the next year and a half. We've got about 5 confirmed movies from Marvel that are actually going to be involved in like that MCU, and
Mm-hmm.
I'll go through them one at a time and let me know thoughts on them, and then we'll kind of tie it up with Infinity War. So, um, Ant Man and the Wasp. That's I believe that's coming out first out of all these.
What is I had to answer one of my minions real quick.
Ant-Man and Wasp.
Ant Man and the Wasp.
Oh yes.
I'm not looking
Okay.
forward to that one actually.
Oh
I
wow.
totally am.
I I love the first Ant Man. Paul Rudd is an actor who has definitely grown on me over the years.
Right?
I'm really looking forward to this. And the funny thing is that Ant Man, like one of the endings that was kind of parodied for Infinity War was involving how Ant Man he has the ability to go like molecular level to basically to be as tiny as atoms and even smaller.
Right.
And the theory is that he can do that so much so to where he can time travel.
Yeah.
And by doing so, he time travels back to the past and he alerts the person who's going to be the next movie we're going to get, and that's Captain Marvel.
Oh.
I was a little upset that Ant Man was not in this movie, but that's okay. He doesn't have to be.
Right. I am looking forward to seeing. I love watching Evangeline Lilly kick ass. I mean, hate me all you want, whoever has watched these movies, but I loved her as Tauriel in The Hobbit. She was awesome. But and
Amazing.
I've liked her ever since she was on Lost. She was awesome, but I don't really know much about Ant-Man beyond what I've, seen in the first movie, and I've never really gotten to read comic books or anything like that, but I know plenty of people who have read them out the waz, so I've gotten to still learn quite a bit from them, but I know it's not the same as actually reading it for yourself or whatever.
Right.
So beyond that, I know nothing Jon Snow.
That's gonna be our first shirt. We know nothing, Jon Snow, and on the
Yeah.
back, Pup Squad. Um,
Yeah.
Captain Marvel, though. Let's get into Captain Marvel.
Real
Uh,
quick though, quick question about Infinity War, where I guess it's going to be like the only quote unquote spoiler I'm going to ask for, or maybe you could just answer this to me in private, because then again, there might be people who don't even want to know the answer to this. Uh, my biggest question, I guess, so far until I can see it is: is Doctor Strange still alive at the end of it?
should I spoil it, Kitty, or should you tell her in secret?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't seen it all the way through yet. I told you I watched that spoiler video that told me the end.
Oh, sorry, I misunderstood. Um, well, if
And
I'm the only one
you
that
can decide not to answer if you want. That's totally okay, because there might be people watching that are like, "Fuck you! I don't want to know. Shut up, bitch." So
I'm gonna who are watching along to it. I don't want to give out spoilers, but I will spoil a death. It's really not going to mean anything in the long run, but it's going to mean a lot to a lot of women who love this actor.
Oh no.
And it was in a Thor movie.
yeah, I've seen Thor Ragnarok.
Loki Loki within the first 5 minutes.
Shockingly enough, this does not hurt me at all.
Oh,
Oh, and I forget the guy's name, but he plays like the entryway person to Asgard. But
Heimdall.
yeah, he goes before Loki.
That doesn't surprise me, actually.
Well, it doesn't make me happy because I'm a huge
Oh,
Idris Elba
fuck
fan,
yeah!
and I'm a
What?
great way to keep the
Wait.
stereotype going.
What?
Marvel first person to go was the black guy.
Wait, what? No!
Well,
Balls in a bucket.
I
well,
have
hold
to
on.
grieve!
Oh shit! You made her go off camera, dude.
I have to grieve. I have to grieve for Heimdall.
Because
Well,
hell,
I'm not gonna.
watching him die in Pacific Rim was really sad. But anyway,
But he goes out like a champion. Don't feel too bad.
I'm
of
gonna
course he does, because he's freaking Heimdall.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like if you saw the end of Thor Ragnarok, you could kind of see a lot of this coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's
I'm gonna say okay. I'll do this for you. They stayed the I can spoil the plot, I guess, because they didn't rip it directly from the comics. In the comics, Thanos is doing what he's doing because he has an interest in death in the female form,
right.
and he thinks that by wiping out half the population of the entire universe, he'll gain favor. Spoiler alert: she friend zones him the entire freaking story. This movie took a different approach to it. This was more like Thanos grew up on a planet that was becoming overpopulated with limited resources to the point where his home had become ravaged and everyone is dead. He's doing the same thing because he's trying to lift the burden of every civilization in the universe from complete extinction. I don't agree with his method, but I'll tell you this: I like that a hell of a lot more than him getting friend zoned.
Fair enough.
Well, dudes can deal with being quote unquote friend zoned because Thanos
Yeah.
seems to be a bit of an entitled bitch anyway. So
Oh, he was a total badass in this movie. Like he actually held his own without the stones in a few scenes.
I
Like
believe
he
it.
like it's difficult to explain how, like, in the comics he was literally eternity, infinity, and space. And the only reason why he lost in that story was because Nebula stole the gauntlet while he wasn't paying attention.
Uh huh.
Okay, this story a little bit different. He's basically trying to remove the burden of overpopulation from the entire universe, and he's doing it with his own sick, twisted mind and his right hand regime, which are all badasses, by the way.
Yeah.
Um, they did him pretty good. Um, you are going to go into this absolutely loving Iron Man, pretty much all the core characters. You are going to hate the Guardians of the Galaxy in this movie for more
No,
for more than one reason.
Oh God. I feel
but
like
I loved
Rocket is like
it.
6 of those reasons.
Well, there's a few reasons. I don't want to get into it too much because
Right. No,
I want to get through the other movies, but something bad happens at the end. We
of
get the
course.
ending that a lot of people were expecting to happen, but nobody was emotionally ready for. A few of the removals were a little hard to deal with,
Yep.
Balls.
and
I refuse
it,
to accept this. Marvel, fix it.
they're gonna fix it in like a year when they do the next Avengers movie. But for what it was a fantastic movie, and I cannot recommend it nearly enough to anyone who wants to see it. So if you gotta pirate it because it's worth seeing.
See, and I was contemplating taking my kids to it when it first came out and when I got my paycheck and stuff. But then I was like reading about how much pretty much everybody needs boxes of Kleenex, and the sad thing is my kids have been rather traumatized every time I've taken them to see a Marvel movie or anything even remotely in the universe, even if it's done more by Fox instead of Marvel. Like, I wasn't thinking. I went and took them and saw Logan with them last year. Like, I wasn't thinking of how up it was going to be. And it wasn't so much the violence, it's just that seeing some people cack it that we had loved very much over the past several years, it we came out of that theater just completely emotionally drained and exhausted. And then I went and took him to see Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I was very sad by who we lost in that one, but my daughter and I were both sitting like, that sucks. And my boys, bless them, are sitting next to me bawling their asses off. They were so heartbroken when Mary Poppins, y'all, got killed and stuff. So
Oh.
it was like, you know what? We've been dealing with a lot of shit over the past few weeks. And I want to be able to actually take them to see something fun that's not going to have them coming out wishing that they could have an immediate therapy session right after. So I think we're probably just going to wait till video for this one, or at least they are.
I'd I train them mentally for it beforehand, or at least be like, afterwards, we are going to get ice cream. It'll be fine, I promise you.
Right?
But I don't want to get into it too much more because
No.
we got some Phase Four movies I want to touch base on. One of them, as I said, Captain Marvel. Are either you familiar with Captain Marvel?
Vaguely.
Very
I've read a couple
minimal.
of the comics of Captain Marvel, actually.
Well,
Like, I know who she is, but that's about it.
no, that's fine. Basically, and like, how can I say this without getting overly nerdy? She's
Oh,
one of the most
this is what
powerful
our
characters.
podcast is for. Get nerdy with it, man.
Well, no, then I'm going to get overly descriptive, and I don't want to do that. Like, we're talking like, well, it's like in issue 38 of Captain Marvel, she then achieved a special Quasar ability. I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Well, not with a lisp anyway.
Yeah, she is probably one of the most powerful people in the Marvel universe. I'd say next to Quasar, Sentry, and the Silver Surfer.
Ooh,
Nice.
damn.
Um, this movie is supposed to be taking place in the 90s. So this is probably going to be introducing the Skrull invasion. If you're not familiar with that, like they're a very big alien evil race that want to just we got to take
Yeah.
over the world. But this is supposed to tie into a Avengers, the next Avengers, big Avengers movie where like she is, I'm guessing, alive and is like the next like wave to take on Thanos, which I'm curious as all how they're going to do that, considering the fact that we lost a lot of key characters here.
Yeah.
Um, I'm actually excited to see this movie only because reading Captain Marvel comics are very draining, especially if you read her in Civil War II. You wanted to plunge your eyeballs out with toothpicks repeatedly.
Holy shit.
It was 8 issues of her and Tony Stark bantering back and forth like a couple of like step siblings who either want to fight or fuck each other.
Wow.
Strangely enough, those are where I know her from. And my vote is for fuck.
Tune in on Aftermath issue 2 where they finally hash out the details. Uh, no,
Oh,
thank you.
after.
God. Next movie.
So, yeah, next movie. Spider-Man, the Tom Holland Spider-Man. They're another one coming. So Homecoming 2
Yeah.
or called Spider-Man 2. I'm really looking forward to this one. I'm hoping with this movie, they focus more on like the fighting aspect and rather like the comedy, can't figure out his suit, talking to himself, monologue kind of thing, which wasn't terrible in Homecoming, but I'm just like, we're doing this? Okay. I'm gonna need a beer. It just
And maybe a bag of weed.
Oh,
yeah.
so much weed. If this upcoming Spider-Man movie is anything like that one, I'm going to have to be high as my idiot friend, where I have, mountains of pizza boxes around me, and I will still probably only make it a half hour in because then I will sober up and go, "Why am I watching this crap?"
No, that's where you light up another fucking bowl. Come
I
on.
will It's going to take everything I have to get through that half hour.
I swear to God, the next time we do a podcast, I'm gonna find my old Dare shirt from back in high school, and I'm just gonna be like front and center, like right there, like the Dare logo, while you two are talking about pot.
Oh, dare my ass.
Like I dare you to not try this while watching this kind of movie.
I would
No,
probably
pot makes everything better.
pop my eardrums if I had to watch that type of movie without some kind of inhibitor.
Oh,
No,
I
because
don't. I don't.
because if you're baked after smoking a bowl and then you're listening to Tom Holland monologuing and shit, then all of a sudden you can enjoy the self conversation and maybe add your own little bits of spare change.
Yep.
Well, I like to think like I don't do that stuff anymore. I got away from it, but I'll end it with this, and we'll go to the next movie. Um, I remember one of the last times I actually got stoned. I got so stoned it still couldn't make a Marlon Wayans movie funny.
Oh, Jesus. What, did you get green sick or something?
I've just cringed.
My
No,
God.
it was the movie where they like CG'd Marlon Wayans' face over like the body of a toddler, and I don't
No, no. God, no.
know
Ah.
like like I remember I was in my friend's basement. He was like, "Hey, you gotta watch this movie. It's funny." I'm like, "Dude, you made me watch White Chicks. I still don't forgive you for that." He's like, dude, no, you like this movie. It's funny, I swear. And I'm watching this movie, and I'm telling you right now, like I remember that night and how baked I was. Like I was so high, like I was like, fuck, I can find the end of Pi. You give me a couple minutes. Like I was that stoned. I'm watching this movie completely stoned out of my mind, and I'm just like,
What?
This is harshing my buzz. What the fuck?
you're making me want to go door to door asking people about how their faith in Jesus is. This isn't funny.
Oh, God. Okay. Stoners can be kind of obnoxious as it is. Don't be that obnoxious. Don't be that guy.
Don't go full Jehovah's Witness, stoner.
Or
Next
Mormon.
movie.
Sorry.
Next movie, one. It's Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Oh,
Oh, God,
they've
yes.
confirmed that.
That is confirmed. They're doing a third one.
Oh
They'd be
boy.
stupid not to.
I mean,
Well,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm really excited about this one. chances are for the next Infinity War movie to get done before they do it. But no, they can still do it. It just doesn't take place. It can take place whenever. That's the wonderful thing with time. You can do it whenever you want to.
Right.
But Guardians 3, I can tell you right now, Ant-Man 2 and Guardians 3, I guarantee you are going to be the last movies for those franchises.
Probably.
Oh.
Um,
Yeah.
if they're gonna wait this long to do an Ant Man sequel, then chances are they're not gonna wait I think like what another uh, 5 years to do a third movie.
Yeah.
At this point, they're gonna be like, nope, he's gonna be in this, he's gonna be in the next Avengers movie, and then that's pretty much just gonna be it. They might do it, I don't know. Guardians, kind of the same thing. Um, 3 movies and out. They've kind of that's kind of what they're doing now with a lot of these franchises. They want to get the new movies in and going because they they have the movies planned up until about 2022.
Good
Yeah.
God.
So you can believe we're gonna get we're probably gonna get like a third Spider-Man movie. We're definitely gonna get something in the Marvel MCU from the stuff we're acquiring from Fox, hopefully. So
Yeah, I've heard some
um
stuff about like the what was it called? The New Mutants or something? The
the
basically
Inhumans,
huh?
the Inhumans.
No, I'm talking like it's I think it's called the New Mutants. I know it's got Maisie Williams in it from Game of
Uh,
Thrones. And they were
uh,
talking about how it's actually going to be a bit more on the side of like a horror thriller type movie because it's supposed to be like what is it, post-apocalyptic or something? I don't quite remember, but what little I read about it several days ago and I've slept since then. I'm sorry, but it sounded really fucking good.
nice. Um, I don't really know what they're. I really don't know. Like what I would love Marvel to do is kind of adapt their TV series and see if they're going to do something with it with like their MCU. Which reminds me, I saw an extremely funny thing. It was a picture of the actor who played Danny Rand in Iron Fist, and it said after the it's like after Thanos did his thing at the end of Infinity War, he was able to wipe out all the entire season of Iron Fist on Netflix from existence as well.
Yes. Of course, I would have thought that him
Oh,
getting exploded in this in the the sept in Game of Thrones would have done that anyway. But you know,
Nope. Not that lucky.
because
poor
I'm
guy.
sorry, it blew my mind to find out to really realize and make the connection that the guy Danny Rand played Loras Tyrell in Game of Thrones, and I think actually when his character did get killed, I think that was probably like right before, or right after he took on the role of Iron Fist. But Iron Fist bugs the shit out of me, and he was only a bit more tolerable in the Defenders. Otherwise, I was watching it for everybody else.
Yeah, it wouldn't be much, but just to see them in like the next Avengers movie is like the remaining forces of Earth. I'm like that would be cool just in that respect. Like you tell me walking, and that's the next movie, the next Avengers movie, Avengers 4, because they don't have a title for the next one yet.
Right.
You tell me walking into that movie, you get right away Captain Marvel, and you're probably going to get an introduction into Quasar because that's like her bestie.
Right.
And right behind her, she's like, I've assembled a team of people that you probably never heard of. And then behind her, you'll probably see like the remnants of whoever survivors are left, as well as Luke Cage, Jessica Jones,
Yes.
Daredevil, Iron Fist, and behind them, the Punisher.
Yes,
Oh
please.
my
Okay, between
God.
Jessica Jones and the Punisher, I'm not gonna talk about what just happened down south. Anyway,
Moving on.
because
Not that kind of podcast.
But
those are
yeah, that
my two favorite Netflix Marvel people right there. Just Jessica Jones and the Punisher. Fuck yeah.
um, there was an awesome fan theory that if it was Daredevil taking on Thanos, so that would basically make like at least 1 or 2/6 of his entire gauntlet completely useless. And I'm like, well, I can understand the Reality Stone. I get that, but like, what about the other one? And they go, oh, that would be the space one. I'm like, I still don't get it. And he's like, well, apparently in like the Daredevil universe, space doesn't exist because he can magically teleport all the way across Hell's Kitchen in a matter of 3 seconds. Um, I don't. Apparently, it was a badly written joke, but anyway, just the Daredevil is like my favorite Netflix show that Marvel does. But Avengers 4 is going to be the big one because that one's going to tie up this whole plot line, and then we're officially going to get into the next phase of movies. I don't know if that's going to start Phase 4 or if it's going to ease into more Phase 4 stuff, but this is the movie that is we're pretty much going to be saying goodbye to Thor, Captain America, Iron Man. Like they're done. I can definitely see us getting a Black Panther sequel. We got to
Oh
get
my yes.
a Doctor Strange sequel. Like these are some big like cash in stuff because DC is starting to capitalize on some of their stuff, and hopefully they do because um, this is going to be the biggest stage setter Marvel has ever done because it has to wrap up what's going on with Thanos and the Gauntlet, and it has to be able to branch off from here as well as do big send offs, big ones. This is going to be. I think that one's going to be the more emotionally draining of the two, but it's gonna be more like, okay, I understand. I'm cool now.
My heart, but
So,
fine. It'll go on. Sorry.
well, I'm trying to think of the best way to like. It's like if you're playing an RPG and like the mentor who's like 1,000 years old who's trained you like dies in a battle, and then like you give him like like the warrior send off funeral, and you're just like, okay, we're doing this. My heart and soul are at peace. We're gonna kill some motherfuckers.
Right? Kind of like, well, one of the parts out of Witcher 3, but I'm not going to say because you haven't played it yet. But, oh, the feels, God damn it, the motherfucking feels.
Oh yeah. Like I walked out of Infinity War, and all I kept saying to everybody was like, "How dare you make me feel my own feels?"
Oh my god.
But
Okay, Ben Stiller.
that was the point.
I know. Just had to
But
call it.
you know, it was like it's a good movie. I don't know why Rotten Tomatoes is being kind of harsh on it with like a mid 80s rating. No, this movie was a solid A movie across the board. Yes, it's going to be difficult when you have to put the focus on so many different people. It's such a
Right.
grand scale movie, but it's a stage setter part one. Of course, it's going to do that. It's going to feel it's going to feel very all over the place. And but from the acting, I didn't get my no shit Sherlock line between Iron Man and Stephen Strange. I wanted it. I didn't get it.
What
Might
about
happen to
Martin
me.
Freeman? Was he in there?
Huh?
Was Martin Freeman in there? The guy who plays Watson in Sherlock
No.
as well? Oh
Uh,
damn! Because I was
no.
hoping to God that that would happen. Because I would still love to see even just a no shit Sherlock either between Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman, or Benedict and um, Robert. Yeah, I can't
Downey
fucking
Jr.
Yeah.
names today. Thank you, Downey
No.
Jr.
Although I'm not gonna lie, like this movie was the one where I'm like Iron Man finally gets the cool suit, like the one where it can finally just materialize out of nothing. Took
Oh,
it took about 6 movies, but we finally got it.
Hooray! It finally showed up.
ah,
It did. It
Oh
did. Yeah.
no.
The
sorry.
fight sequences were all awesome. Like the situation in Wakanda was badass, and Thor. I'm not spoiling it because Toys R Us already announced it. His new weapon plus his new abilities. He is
Ooh.
pretty much like he's the OTK of the whole Marvel universe after he forges his new weapon. It is badass.
Nice. I am curious to see what he has since what Hela did to
Mjolnir.
Mjolnir. Meow
I want
meow.
I I want to spoil what happens, but I don't want to ruin it. But it's like it's cool and it's heartwarming at the same time. I'll do it anyway. I'll do it. It's not revealing anything. And then we're gonna call it. So the commercials where you see Thor like holding something or pulling something apart, he's actually holding a vice in place so the star can heat the metal to make his new weapon. So it's a pretty awesome scene, right? The mold for the new weapon gets made, but there's no handle. And he's frantically trying to find a handle because if the metal cools without a handle, he doesn't have a weapon and they're pretty much boned.
Right.
Groot is now a teenager at this point.
Oh, great.
Oh my god, no.
No, it's not going anywhere bad. I promise. He puts down a video game that he got from Quill. sees the weapon, grows out his own arm to basically form the handle around the head of the thing, and as well as like a giant axe, and then like just cuts off his own arm, and basically gives it to Thor.
I
And I'm
love
sitting there, I'm
So
just like, good on you, buddy. Good on you.
selfless teenager.
Oh, up
which is
until that
great
point.
after the attitude that you see from him in like the credit scenes and stuff after the second Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
Oh yeah. Oh, he was hilarious in this movie, and he was totally
Oh.
full of angst. But the funny back and forth is between Chris Pratt and Chris Hemsworth when they
Oh,
pick him up in their ship. I'm not gonna I'm gonna leave it there, but we gotta cut this because we're
Yeah.
running a little late.
oh
Oh,
yeah.
for sure.
So yeah, that's gonna do it. We talked about gaming, we talked about rumors, games that we played that disappointed, and hopefully you stay as far away from Warframe as you can. Hopefully they fix it, and you sell your copies of Destiny 2 because I don't wish that curse or plague upon you.
Yep.
Uh, and next time we do the show, I think we had a special like questionnaire or like pop quiz or trivia night we were talking about wanting to do. So I'm thinking next time in a couple weeks we'll do a trivia show.
Oh
Sounds
boy.
good.
That'll be fun.
It'll be all Diablo 3.
Oh god.
Yes.
Well, fuck, I'm out now.
But it was fun as always, and thank you to everyone out there in the crowd who was watching. A few people I knew who came in a little late. That's cool. I know that the time we stream this is a little wonky. Still subject to change because I'm realizing that I have a very fussy daughter on Wednesday nights, and my wife is exhausted when she gets home. But that's not gonna matter for next week. But it was definitely a good show.
Oh,
I feel like we
Yeah.
definitely got a lot accomplished today.
More than
oh god.
normal with half of the boob jokes.
Right?
Maybe we'll make up for quota next time.
Oh jeez.
That'll be the title of the show. Boob quota met.
Time to meet our boob quota.
Well, with
Hashtag boob
Friday,
quota.
with Friday
Trend
the
that
13th
shit on
was
Twitter. Okay, sorry, I'm done.
nice. Well, with Friday the 13th, we definitely hit the quota on jiggly booties.
Oh yeah.
Right. And butts. Don't forget the butts.
Can never forget the
That's
butts.
yeah. So that's gonna do it from all of us over on the Players Unknown podcast. Hope until next time. My name is Eric. You can catch me on this respective channel right here. And to my lovely co-hosts, where can they find you?
I'm Kat from Cat Plays Games. Channel currently on hiatus, so don't mind that shit. Um, I've been commenting throughout the things, so if you feel like scrolling through that crap, go ahead. I have no logo. I'm sorry.
Put in the effort, damn it. I'm talking to them, not you.
Right? And I'm by Felicia319. And you can, find me at that channel. And here in a little more than an hour, I'm also going to be starting my typically nightly Witcher stream, at least for as long as I've still got some Witcher to play. And otherwise, I will see you guys next time.
That's gonna do it, y'all. Have a good Wednesday, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.